Okay, so one of the procedures that we really emphasize during training and afterwards is going to be in regards to our prioritization of our tasks. So our restaurants kind of follow similar styles to traditional ramen restaurants, where it's more of a thin style, a thin restaurant, not too wide, and kind of long wise. So what that means is all the tables and everything you need to take care of the tables, from your pitchers to refill drinks, to the line to run the food, credit card processing, extra silverware, all those things are relatively close to all your tables. So you can literally spin in a circle and be able to see your entire station as well as what they need, and they can see you as well. So our prioritization of the tasks is really, really important. So at any given moment, you may need to run food. You may need to take an order for a guest. You may need to seat guests at the front door, refill some drinks, pre-bus tables, maybe clear and reset tables, which all of those are important. But at that one moment, you've got to quickly prioritize what is the most important. So, for example, of everything I just mentioned, the two most important are going to be running food as well as seating the guests. The reason why is we've got to run the food hot so we can clear up room on the windows so we can get more food put out by the chefs. Seating the guests, we've got to get them seated immediately before a line builds up. Now, those two items are top priority, and if you think about it, those two items can be done very, very quickly as long as you are able to communicate with the guests. So for example, running the food. You run the food to the guests, you drop it off, you let them know, Mr. Customer, here is your amber ramen, here is your salmon poke bowl, enjoy. Let me know if you need anything else, I'll be right around here. And then you leave. That interaction is not going to take more than 5 seconds. Next is seating the guests. If it's very busy, you're going to have to prioritize how much time you can spend with the guests. So we need to get them seated. So you go up to the hostess stand, introduce yourself, say hi to the guests, go ahead and get them seated. Now, if you had all the time in the world, you could do a full-blown greet, a full-blown spiel, going over something such as, hi, how are you? My name's Van. I'll be taking care of you. Do we have any first-time guests? Are we celebrating special occasions? Let me go ahead and recommend some beverages. We've got these Japanese beers on draft, so and so forth. But if you're very busy, you're gonna have to prioritize your time. Now, you can get away with it as long as you communicate with the guests. So it's very busy, let's say that, you seat the guests and you let them know, hey folks, how you doing? My name's Van, I'll be taking care of you. Let me run this hot food real quick and I'll be right back. Let me take care of this one item and I'll be right back. The guests are going to be perfectly fine as long as you communicate with them. Because if you do not know when to break away from the table and how to communicate with them and manage your time and prioritizations, let's say you seat that guest and you start doing your greet and you start talking to them. We know that some guests are laid back. They know exactly what they want. They'll say, hey, I want this and this to drink. You let them know and they'll be perfectly fine. You have some guests that may ask you a series of questions. So if you get caught in that situation and you've got hot food at the window, you have more guests that need to be seated, you have another table that needs to be pre-bust or they need to order, it's going to put you in a bind because you're now stuck at that table for however long they need you. But if you are able to communicate with the guests and let them know, hey, my name's Van, I'll be taking care of you. Give me one moment, I'll be right back. Or let me seat this guest, I'll be right back. Or let me run this hot food, I'll be right back. That will then give you a little bit of time to take care of other things you need. So our servers can effectively handle pretty large stations and follow our steps of service as long as they can effectively communicate with the guests, and on the fly they're constantly able to prioritize what's the most important task at that time. Now, clear-cut example other than the one I just mentioned is, let's say you're pre-bussing a table and you're wiping it down, the guest has already left and there's food on the window. I don't need you to continue wiping that table down. It's perfectly fine to just stop what you're doing, run the food, and then get back to what you're doing. They're all important, but you're just prioritizing at that very moment what needs to be done. These steps of service and this emphasis on prioritization is something that we've got to see from day one during training. And as well as it's something you're going to have to really lock in on in order to succeed at our restaurant. It is a fast-paced dining experience compared to a lot of restaurants. Let's say an Italian restaurant or a steakhouse or a seafood restaurant. Some of these guests are dining for anywhere between an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half or more. With our locations and our style of food, most of our guests are in and out within 45 minutes. That's why we've got to really lock in and follow these steps, these procedures, these type of policies, because it's going to really help you be able to succeed during that time to accomplish more. It'll minimize the extra steps that you take, and it's going to keep the guests informed of what's happening. A lot of guests are more forgiving when it's very busy, as long as we have clear-cut communication with the guests, and they'll be perfectly fine.